name's Peter Thompson. I'm proudly lived in Mortdale for over 50 years. I'm lucky enough to be one of the founders and one of the admins of the iGum Facebook page, which as of this morning, I think we have 97,000 people around the world follow what happens in Mortdale. Yeah, little old Mortdale. But I'm very proud that my family have owned a business or owned a business in Morts Road for 39 years. And my dear old mum, who's not with us anymore, she was Mortdale Chamber of Commerce first president. So I'd like to think that my DNA is very much matched with Mortdale and what's best for Mortdale. I'm going to talk a little bit about what I'm involved in the group with, and that's the parking, road access and so forth that's been involved in today. So I'm just going to run you through a few things. As you know, Mortdale is congested by a number of different pathways. In Mortdale one-way bridge, the Boundary Road single lane, the Forest Road single lane entrance, of course the Allen Subway single lane on Railway Parade. There's also secondary streets from Oakley and Penshurst that give you access to Mortdale. They are also single lane. It's very important to remember when we say the word single lane when it comes to access. Our current car parking situation, we have 109 car parking spaces split between two small car parks directly behind us here on Cook Street, and also the main street of Mortdale. You may have noticed just recently we've lost 6 car spaces in the main street of Mortdale due to the upgrade of the footpath and the pedestrian areas. So we can take that 6 spaces off the 109. Our roads, they were built for houses. When they put the town plans together, when they put Mortdale, Oakley and Penshurst into blocks, they built our streets for houses, not high density apartments that we're now struggling with, but we've adapted in Mortdale. We've got 5 streets of complete high density housing, and that's worked out. People work together, and as you probably know, I live in Station Street, and I can tell you there's no parking in Station Street after 4 p.m. So I'd just like to talk a little bit about also how the impact this Mortdale Masterplan will have on parking and also traffic flow. During the peak hours of 7:30 till 9 a.m, and probably some tradesmen will tell me it's 5:30 a.m. because they've got to get up that early to get somewhere, 3:30 to 6 p.m, the Rockdale and Hurstville and Cogra residents have been through this process. They now have high-rise apartments on their arterials, and they are now heavily congested. You try and get down Railway Parade at Cogra, you try and get along the highway at Rockdale, or you even try to get through Hurstville during those peak hours, with the exception of the Hurstville bypass, that has actually taken a little pressure off the community. It is heavily congested. And that's what will actually happen here in Mortdale. And you think about it, we have only single lane and one-way streets. So we're looking at the current population of 11,089 people. Imagine what 969 minimum, that's a minimum dwellings, 969 minimum, that will add an extra 3,000 people to increase our population with already congested roads. Actually, we don't have to even imagine it. There are computer software programs and they can simulate and forecast traffic. But unfortunately, the standard procedure, which is followed by just about every council and planning project in Australia, has not been used by the Georges River Council for Mortdale. They actually haven't done any computer modelling, they haven't done any forecasting using these processes. So, if we're looking at the national standard per household traffic trips, standard dwelling household home unit has 10 single journeys. And just this morning, between me and my wife, we knocked over 6, and that was before 8 a.m. So that shows you how many single trips are out there. So 960 minimum dwellings times 10, massive 9,690 traffic movements per day on Mortdale roads and parking. Remember, we have single lane accesses, bottlenecks at the one-way bridge to Oakley, and of course the Allen Subway is another bottleneck for us. So we have 2 of the 4 entry points that traffic congestion without those in place. I'd like to acknowledge Neil Flanagan. Neil Flanagan is the Town Planner, Strategic Parking and Traffic Specialist for Logan City Council in Queensland. He's born and bred Mortdale man, and when he heard about this, he has family here in Mortdale still, he got involved with this project straight away that we're running, and also he wrote directly to the council planning department and made them aware of some of their shortfalls in their forecasting. So Neil actually had put this together. A proper car parking strategy is essential to the success of any centre, especially one undergoing the significant changes proposed for Mortdale. Get it wrong and will impact the suburb forever, or if it doesn't work for users and businesses alike, the centre will ultimately fail to succeed. And I'll just stop there for a second. If people can't park, they can't shop. And that's why Westfield has car parks, and or every major shopping centre has massive multi-level car parks. Because if you cannot park, you just drive off to the next suburb or to the next area, and usually it's a large shopping convenience. And that's one of the great things here at Mortdale. You can drive up to the main street, park your car, go to Wishburn Chickens or go to Bresnahan Butchers or something like that. It's one of the things that makes us like living and work again, also shopping in Mortdale. So unfortunately, the upfront comprehensive car park strategies are not an issue for the council, and their response to the address, and it is in writing, is a piecemeal DA by DA basis. So there's no grand plan for it, or they also just address it one by one as it comes along. For me, that's a little concerning, to say the least, but in saying that, I think everyone here today understands that I'm not anti-development, but it must fit our community. I'm pro-Mortdale, 1, 2 and 3. Mortdale comes 1, 2 and 3 when it comes to this strategy. Mortdale needs everybody here. They need you to write your disapproval to the council. They need you to make your voices. They need you to tell everyone, tell your neighbours, make sure everyone's aware of what is actually being proposed. And if anyone would like to have a chat with me after the session, I'll be down the back. I look forward to having you, and thank you for your time here today.